Buzzwole, the swollen Pokemon. This Ultra Beast appeared from another world. It shows off its body, but whether that display is a boast or a threat remains unclear. Although it's alien to this world and a danger here, it's apparently a common organism in the world where it normally lives. Originally debuted in Pokemon Sun and Moon for the 3DS, Buzzwole is the first Ultra Beast to be added to Pokemon Unite. It is a physical-based all-rounder that excels at singling out its foes and knocking out its targets. Welcome to the Buzzwole Pokemon Spotlight. Buzzwole's passive ability is Beast Boost, which has two components. First, when Buzzwole knocks out or assists in knocking out an opposing Pokemon, it temporarily gains attack speed and movement speed. This bonus is only granted for knocking out opposing Pokemon, not wild neutral ones. However, as you're only required to assist them, Buzzwole can be an excellent finisher to a close battle. Second, when dealing damage to opposing Pokemon with basic attacks and certain moves, Buzzwole fills up its muscle gauge. It becomes boosted with every third attack, throwing 2 consecutive punches, which each restores Buzzwole's HP and increases the muscle gauge per hit. This muscle gauge can be consumed by some of Buzzwole's moves to increase their power. Buzzwole's first move is Mega Punch. Jump in the target direction, slamming the ground with a powerful punch. This punch deals damage to Pokemon in the area, and if it hits an opposing Pokemon, its muscle gauge is increased per Pokemon hit. Moves that upgrade from Mega Punch are going to be your muscle gauge generators, and the other moves will be your muscle gauge consumers. Buzzwole's second starting move is Fell Stinger. Consume all your muscle gauge and deal damage in the designated direction. The damage dealt by this move increases the more your muscle gauge is filled. If this move knocks out its target, Buzzwole is healed for 10% of their maximum HP. This move does considerable damage, even with little to no muscle gauge bars. Use this to secure knockouts on wild neutral Pokemon in the early game. Mega Punch can be upgraded into Lunge or Smackdown. Lunge, similar to Mega Punch, jumps in the target direction, slamming the ground. If this move hits an enemy, Buzzwole gains muscle gauge, attack speed, and also decreases the enemy's attack power. Lunge can hold up to 2 charges, which can be used 1 second apart. At level 13, Lunge Plus increases Buzzwole's attack power per enemy hit as well. Smackdown punches your target forward, damaging and stunning them while they're airborne. You can activate this move again to land at your target and deal additional damage to all the enemies within the area. For each enemy hit, Buzzwole increases its muscle gauge. At level 13, the area of effect is increased and Buzzwole gains even more muscle gauge per Pokemon hit. Pro tip: you can throw in 1 basic attack while your target is airborne before landing at their location to maximize your damage output. Once one of these moves grants muscle gauge, you can use one of the following Fell Stinger upgrades to consume it. First is Leech Life. Grab and restrain an enemy, dealing damage and healing Buzzwole over time. The more muscle gauge you have, the longer and stronger you can leech your opponent's life. This move will end, however, if Buzzwole is stunned, if the target becomes unstoppable, or if the target is able to escape with something like Eject Button. At level 11, Leech Life gets progressively stronger after each hit. This is a great tool to finish enemies in a 1v1 battle, but against multiple foes, you can be left doing nothing very easily. Alternatively, you can go for Superpower. Superpower dashes and grabs an enemy Pokemon, and shortly after, you can slam your enemy to the ground, dealing damage to all opposing Pokemon in the area, as well as granting Buzzwole with a shield. The damage dealt and shield both increase with more muscle gauge. Pro tip: you can use your own eject button after grabbing your enemy to move them even further away. Buzzwole's Unite is Ultra Swole Slam. Buzzwole flies at high speed, dealing damage to enemies in the area of effect. Afterward, Buzzwole selects and flies at the lowest HP target of the one's hit, charges down, dealing additional damage. If the target is an opposing Pokemon and not a wild one, additional damage is dealt based on how low they are. Makes it a great tool at finishing your foes. Buzzwole does best when coupled with held items that improve its attack output and survivability. Consider items like Buddy Barrier and Focus Band if you're having trouble staying alive, and use items that increase your attack, attack speed, and critical rate to increase your damage output. If you're using a scoring item like attack weight, be careful as Buzzwole lacks mobility and survivability in the early game. Wait for the neutral Pokemon to get low health and use Fell Stinger for a burst of damage and healing. Buzzwole is a master at controlling his opponents, but does struggle if left to fight multiple foes on its own. Look to commit to a fight only after key cooldowns have been used. Watch out for moves like Safeguard from Blissey that grant unstoppable to your foes, which can leave Buzzwole's moves to do absolutely nothing.
Ah, Buzzwole. It's like John Cena and that tall vampire from Twilight Had a Baby. A welcome addition to the roster, this Swole Skeeto can be a little tricky to use, so you're either sucking at using its moves or sucking while using its moves.
Use Buzzwole's Unite move to execute low HP Pokemon. As long as you hit them with the first instance of Ultra Swole Slam, the second missing HP portion will be a sure hit. Combining knockouts with the Unite move with Beast Boost provides Buzzwole with a massive attack speed and movement speed bonus. Use this to your advantage to pick off any retreating Pokemon. A mysterious life form called an Ultra Beast, witnesses saw it pulverize a dump truck with a single punch. Go out there and pulverize your opponents with a single punch in Pokemon Unite.